I am Sonya Smith, the State Director for the New York Small Business Development Center, and the SBA has launched a $1 million Patriot Pitch Competition. So to speak more about the eligibility and the opportunities for New York small businesses, our Region 2 Small Business Administration Regional Administrator, Matt Coleman, will be speaking more about how New York small businesses can get involved and compete, as well as submit their pitches by June 10th.
Welcome. We're here. We're going to talk about the SBA Pitch Competition and what New York small business owners should know if they're interested in applying. Matt, before we jump into kind of the application and big picture stuff itself, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Coleman. I am a born and raised New Yorker. You can probably hear from my accent that I am from Long Island originally. It is fantastic to be with the SBDC, the New York SBDC. I very much thank not only Renee, but State Director Sonya Smith for this opportunity to come on and talk about the SBA Patriot Pitch Competition as part of the United States' Freedom 250 celebration, this being the 250th year since the nation's founding.
You mentioned this competition connects kind of the broader 250-year small business and entrepreneurship story. When we're looking at that through the lens of New York, big picture, we're thinking about the rich business history from legacy companies, major innovators, Main Street farms, restaurants, service providers, all that amazing stuff. So when you think about these 250 years of small business in New York, what kind of stories stand out to you most?
When I think about 250 years of Empire State small business, the concepts of resiliency and reinvention across every corner of the state, is what immediately comes to mind from my travels over the past. I've been back at the SBA for just over a year. From family manufacturers in the Mohawk Valley to the North Country. We just celebrated National Small Business Week with the National Manufacturer of the Year in Moira, New York. You can think of Main Street small businesses and shops from Long Island to Western New York and communities across the Southern Tier to tech and creative startups in the Finger Lakes region, Central New York, Metro New York. What I see and the experience that I have visiting these, both in my position as regional administrator and previously at the SBA in the first Trump administration, were that New York entrepreneurs and small business owners keep finding ways over 250 years to solve problems, to create jobs, and to serve their communities. We're trying to find at the SBA a great mix of legacy businesses, new ventures, both urban and rural, because that's what makes up New York. That's what New York's 62 counties are full of. And it's a big reason the Empire State is such fertile ground for the SBA pitch competition. And we very much encourage everyone to apply and submit their application today.
Awesome. That's really helpful way to think about all this. A lot of business stories start small, and this competition, it sounds like it's not necessarily for folks who are in that discovery phase. This is, you mentioned, like the innovative companies that are trying to grow. Is that kind of where the in business 3 years parameter is coming from to kind of help that?
Correct. As part of the National Freedom 250 celebrations, we want to salute and to recognize established small businesses. This is a different competition or program than our annual National Small Business Week program. What we're looking for, or the minimum eligibility requirements, are, you need to be an established small business in New York or elsewhere. But here we're talking about Empire State small businesses. So there's that 3 years minimum that you need to have been in operation. We also have a secondary category of at least $100,000 in annual revenue. And then the third real qualification is you need to have utilized SBA capital programs like the 7A working capital loan or the 504 loan, a micro loan. if you're an SBIR, STTR recipient of an award, if you received SBDC financing, or theoretically what many folks can apply, having qualified them, the Paycheck Protection Program during COVID. That was actually a 7A program. It was authorized by Congress and signed into law as an offshoot of the 7A program. So if you are a PPP recipient, you also are eligible to apply, and you should take a hard look at applying. We're interested in folks who are innovating, creating jobs, and strengthening their communities through their small business and the small business ecosystem that they are part of.
So with that in mind, I'm going to switch hats for a minute on you, Matt.
Sure.
Let's say I am a New York small business owner. I hear about this pitch competition. I'm curious, and I want to figure out whether I should apply. I am going to walk through with you right now the SBA page as if I'm looking at this for the first time. Okay, I've landed on this pitch competition page. And so for a small business owner watching this right off the bat, is this for me? So I'm going to look at, I'm guessing maybe the eligibility requirement, but should I look at something else first?
I would take a look at, well, first of all, let me give you the unique URL. It's sba.gov/freedom250. And that will pull that up. I know there's a longer web address, but that's the customizable URL that you can type in and you use fewer characters to type. The first thing I would suggest, even though you're not required to do so, there is a link for an example pitch. And I would take a look at that, because that is basically a good guideline that you could follow to tell us about your small business and what you're doing to drive innovation. Don't forget, innovation is and what you're doing to incorporate it and to drive it is a key part of the pitch competition. I would also take a look at the terms and conditions right below it, which have not only the eligibility requirement, but all the legalese that you need to adhere to. It also has the outline of the timeline of what happens after submission and the different stages of the competition and how you could wind up in Washington, D.C. I would then refine your pitch and take a look in the submit your pitch section. The interesting part when you submit your pitch, if you are a New York State small business, you need to make sure you are clicking on the appropriate submission.
Where do folks look that up if they're not sure which district they're in?
They can go to sba.gov/local assistance. Local hyphen assistance, I think it is. They would then hit enter. They would then put their zip code in there. And let's say your zip code, I'm going to say 10278, because that is the zip code I am located in. You then, where my office is located in, you then hit search nearby, click search nearby, and your district office would come up.
Okay, correct. Now I'm clicking on New York District. I'm going to apply right now, Matt. I'm in SBA Pitch Competition, New York Metro District Office. So this is telling me everything I need to apply here. Great. I think you went through all of these, the 3 years, the revenue, email address, upload files. Do you get one shot at uploading?
Correct. And every different district office has their own local contact that you can reach out to with a direct email address, and you can ask them a question. You would then put your email address in there, upload all the files that you need to submit with your application and your submission, and you then send it away, and it gets sent securely to the SBA, and the judges will begin judging on the district level after the application period ends. Okay.
And it kind of sounds like I might need to gather some things, as you mentioned, before I submit this by June 10th.
Correct.
So I might want to start it a little bit earlier. Like now, maybe?
I would start, unless you have these documents, unless you have a business plan with your 3-year revenue forecast, on the ready, I would begin as soon as humanly possible. I would say be genuine if you're doing a video. that you're submitting, I would submit that. I would upload it privately onto YouTube and submit the YouTube link and put the YouTube link in there on an unlisted video, so it's not public. And that's a great way that judges and the competition itself it's an added bonus for judges and those analyzing submissions in the competition, because they can see the real you, they can listen to you in your own words, as opposed to writing it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah. What types of New York small business owners would you love to see represented in this competition?
And if you're from New York, I encourage you to apply. Anybody with any innovative ways that they're addressing problems, that they're solving problems of clients, of customers, anybody who's seen growth and leverage those SBA capital products to get them there.
Yeah, sometimes that word innovation does feel a little intimidating for some folks, because I think a lot of small business owners may hear the word and think, well, I'm not a tech company. How should those small business owners think about innovation if they're not a tech company?
Innovation, I would say, if you're not a tech company, what are you doing that makes you unique, that is reprioritizing how you do your business, what you've come up with to reduce gaps, to solve problems.
Yeah, sounds like it can sometimes be something practical. You mentioned solving a customer problem, improving a process, a new market. What would you say to a New York small business owner who has a strong story, but is hesitating to apply?
Applying is free. This will help magnify your voice. Don't be afraid to tell your story. This is a way to do it with a megaphone.
Absolutely. And we have some great stories here in New York.
It's free to do from the comfort of your office or your home.
The big thing here is timing. It's coming up really quickly. So we want people to take action as soon as possible. What should applicants know about the timeline and the deadline?
Boy, so we have until, everyone has until June 10th to apply. Correct. And applicants should watch for updates from the SBA as district winners and regional semifinalists are selected after the deadline and after judging begins. If you advance, you'll also receive guidance on preparing for the next stage, including refining your pitch for either a virtual, and if it's the final, the live presentations, as well as potentially sharing additional materials needed for further judging after the district and regional levels.
What would you say directly to a New York small business owner who is watching this, thinks they might have a strong story, but is still on the fence about applying?
I would say take the time to apply before the June 10th deadline. Not only is your story as a small business owner unique, and you can highlight the innovation and success that your company and your business and your employees have gone through each and every day, but you could be a fantastic representative on the national stage out of the region. Don't forget, we have applicants coming from the state of New Jersey, the state of New York, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands regionally. So we want to make sure that we are ably represented on the New York side. And if you have that story, if you have success, just do it. I mean, it takes only a few moments to do. Many small business owners already have that documentation. But yeah, I mean, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm not just saying that. Saying that, I mean, it really is. It's your idea.
Matt, I believe you.
It's your shot. It's your idea, your shot, and your moment. Take advantage of it.